What's going on, guys? Kevin here from thesportsgeek.com, and in this video I'm going to go over my NFL Week 1 betting picks. So this year I'm entered into the NFL SuperContest in Las Vegas. If you don't know what that is, basically it's a large sports betting contest in Vegas for the NFL season. It's $1,500 to enter at the start of the year, and you make 5 picks against the spread each week, and then whoever comes in first at the end of the year wins close to $1 million. They don't have the total prize yet, but it's around $1 million. So I'm really excited to be in that, and it's going to be a lot of fun throughout the season. And I figured if I'm doing these NFL betting picks, if I'm putting in the time to do the research, I might as well do some NFL betting pick videos here at my YouTube channel. So I'm going to take my 3 best picks from my 5 that I submit and put them up here on my YouTube channel. So if you enjoy these videos, make sure you click that like button and I'll continue to do them. So let's get on to my Week 1 NFL betting picks. Okay, so to kick off the 2016 NFL season on Thursday night, I'm going with the Broncos +3 in a rematch of Super Bowl 50 from last year versus the Panthers, where the Broncos went on to win 24-10 as underdogs. I like them to win again this year in the rematch, and they're going to have to do so with a new QB as the Broncos turn to rookie QB Trevor Siemian, who was a 7th round draft pick in 2015. But as we saw last year with Peyton Manning, he didn't have to do too much with the type of defense the Broncos have, the league's #1 defense. The quarterback just pretty much has to try not to turn the ball over, and they've got a really good chance at winning games that way. And he's going to have a little bit easier of a test than Manning had last year. The Panthers lost cornerback Josh Norman to free agency and Charles Tillman to retirement, so they're still going to have a good defense, but I think it got a little bit of a downgrade there, losing those 2 important players from their secondary. And then the Broncos league's best secondary returns, and along with the front 7, they're projected to be the #1 defense again this year. I think they're going to be the top defense come the end of the year, and I think they're going to show that again tonight here against the Panthers. And when you're getting the league's top defense as underdogs at home, I'm pretty much always going to take that, especially when I can capture that field goal at +3. So it's not even like we're going +2 or +1, +2.5, whatever. We're getting that field goal at +3. So if the Panthers do win by a field goal, we get the push. But I think the Broncos win outright here. I really like the Broncos +3 tonight. Okay, so my second pick here is going to be the Raiders +1.5, who are traveling to New Orleans to face the Saints. Both of these 2 teams finished 7-9 last year, but the Raiders were in the tougher division, facing Denver and Kansas City twice, both solid AFC playoff teams, and obviously Denver went on to win the Super Bowl. So I think the Raiders had a pretty good season last year despite being 7-9, and I think the Saints were kind of lucky to be 7-9 last year. They had the league's worst defense, and I think this week they could have troubles versus a solid Raiders offensive line that ranks 2nd in pro fantasy football rankings. The Raiders could have one of the better defenses in the league this year with a solid front 7 and a couple upgrades to their secondary. So they did have a pretty solid, pretty good, or at least above average defense last year, and I think they improved on that this year, and I would say they'd be for sure in a top 10 defense come the end of the year, maybe even a bit better than that. I think it's a little underrated heading into the season. We're getting them as underdogs, and I like the matchup here with the Saints, who have one of the worst defenses in the league last year, and I don't really see them improving on that this year. So I have Carr leading the Raiders to a Week 1 win and a cover on the road. My third and final pick for this week is going to be Jaguars +5.5. The Jags are hosting Aaron Rodgers and the Packers for a very good Week 1 test, and a lot of people are going to be all over the Packers -5.5 on the road here. But the sharp sports bettors have been very bullish on the Jags preseason, moving their win total from 6 to 7.5. So they're betting on the Jags to win over 7.5 games. And it started at 6, moved all the way to 7.5, meaning lots of money has been coming in on the Jaguars. A little underrated, even though they had a pretty good season last year. And they're at home here getting the points, and they should have a good enough offense to keep pace with the Packers, with Allen and Hearns being one of the top duos in the league. And they've got the addition of Chris Ivory in the backfield. So obviously the Packers should be able to put up some points, but I have the Jaguars at least keeping pace with them and sticking within that 5.5 range. I think it's most likely going to come down to whether or not this new Jags secondary can keep Rodgers in check. And I like their chances to keep it tight. So if they can hold the Packers to maybe 24 points or so, I think that they can score around 21 points on their own. I would say maybe Green Bay by 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags maybe pulled off a big upset here at home in Week 1. So Jags +5 looks really good to me. Those are my 3 NFL picks for the week, guys. If you guys want me to keep doing these 3 picks, I'm going to take 3 of my top 5 picks that I'm entering into the Super Contest, and I'll give them out weekly. Just let me know by clicking the thumbs up button on YouTube, and if I get enough good response from that, I'll continue to post these weekly. Good luck this week, guys. Cheers.